Welcome to Read Between the Wines, where two bibliophiles discuss our love of the written word from cover to cover and cork to glass. Pour yourself a beverage and join us for this week's episode. Cheers!
Hello!
Hi.
Hello to you.
Hi.
And to you.
And to...
The faithful viewers. We appreciate you.
Welcome back.
Thanks for coming back, y'all.
So, started on another Sauv Blanc. This one is called White Cloud. Will warn you, smells horrible.
Smells terrible.
Smells suspiciously like feet. So
it was a little scary when drinking.
yes,
But we almost didn't.
Right.
We had PTSD.
Yeah. But
To White Cloud.
right, to White Cloud. It's actually not terrible.
It's pretty not terrible.
It's light, just don't breathe in. Like the taste of it is great.
Yeah.
Right, the taste is very like fresh and crisp and refreshing and all those things, but the smell, we need to do something about that.
Feet.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe it needs more time to breathe. Maybe I should have left the cap off of it.
Well, we'll find out as it sits here in our glasses. Fair?
Fabulous.
So we did something super fun that we're bringing to you today, which is a little bit different than our typical setup here. And you're going to hear our voices and see us here, but also we have a lot of like footage to show you.
Yes.
So much footage to show you because we
took a field trip.
We went on a field trip. RBTW on the go, right? It was
I was like, wait, what are we?
What
spelling?
are we saying?
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was our first foray, first field trip, book themed that we kind of accidentally captured.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on purpose, and then we got there and I was like,
plan
oh, this is a thing.
Wait a second.
Right?
Yes.
It may be one of my most exciting things that I've done in 2024, which is saying a lot because I loved it so much more than I thought I was going to. Like, I didn't think I was going to dislike it, but I was definitely not as excited as I should have been.
Yes. And at one point, I believe I got like a little teary-eyed and I was like, oh, there's a lot of emotion, like being here and seeing this.
Right.
It was so exciting.
Exactly. So, where did we go?
Where did we go?
We went to the Library of Congress.
Which is an actual library.
A legit library. Like
It
a
is...
checkout books library. Well, not check out and take home. Do not be confused. You cannot take anything out of this library, and they're very sure.
Yes.
And very careful about that. You ain't taking nothing nowhere. So, but it is definitely a place where you can go, and they welcome all researchers, which is something I love that they call people, right? They say we welcome all researchers, all readers, and you can actually get a library card.
And we know.
Because we have
did.
them. Because we each, and the thing is like,
yes,
I've never been more excited to, like, I love my library card. I don't use it as much as I should, right?
Right.
But I love the fact that we were able to go in and get one.
To get a library card.
And it says Library of Congress Reader. Because that's what we are. We're readers. And so the process was super easy.
Yes.
To get in there and get it.
And everybody in our party got one.
Everybody in our party got a library card.
A library card for the Library of Congress.
But they're only good for 2 years. Which I don't know if I'm going to need to go and get another one unless I am doing some sort of a research project that I need, and then I can re-up it at that point. But just having the one.
And yeah, just
Exactly.
feeling that importance.
Right.
But it was amazing because it's a library, but it's less like a library and more like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like you can call up books and they will bring them to you.
In your space. In your allocated space.
They had assigned, well, not assigned, but they had numbered reading nooks and alcoves and benches and desks, and it was amazing.
And it's super quiet. And we're only talking about, at this point, we're only talking about the reading room.
The main reading room.
Right?
You have seen on videos.
Yes.
And the biggest one I can think of is the Nicolas Cage when he stole the...
National Treasure?
Is that what it is?
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. When he stole the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yes, and as he's running through, That is, and goes out the elevator. I think it's the
Right?
vent in the elevator.
Perfect.
We saw that.
Right?
It was incredible.
We got to do elevator time. We got to do tunnel time.
We got, underneath.
Yeah,
tunnel
because
time.
and not something that is a secret, but it is definitely, they're all connected, right? So literally,
There's 3 buildings.
there are 3 buildings.
There are 3
You
buildings
have
in case you didn't know.
the main building, which was built in 1897.
Yes.
Because I got that wrong the first time. I said 1896. I was so close. 1897 was the construction of the first building, and the architects there, which we thought was very interesting, wanted to put a Liberty cap on the very top of the building. They were like, we're going to put a Liberty cap up there, blah, blah, blah. I will tell you, it is not a Liberty cap. It is a flame.
It's a flame
Because when they were talking it over with the designers and things like that, they were like, nope, we're not doing that. And the architects were so, like, upset and offended by the fact that they said no to their Liberty cap idea that they put them everywhere
inside.
everywhere inside. So you've got that one is the Jefferson.
That's the Jefferson.
Jefferson
Yes.
building. You then have the Adams building was built in the 30s.
Yes.
And that one, so it's got a little bit different of
It's a different style.
right, it's a completely different
decor.
style of
Because
building.
the Jefferson building is like marble.
Oh, it's
And
freaking
fresco?
gorgeous.
Do we think those are fresco? We don't know.
I have no idea. There's
know.
faces everywhere. It's very Grecian, Roman. It's very like scholarly, right?
Yes.
And then you've got the
Adams building.
Adams building, which was built in the 30s, which houses individuals who work in the space and some of the staff and other things like that. So it's not holding a collection of swords. And then you have the Madison building, which was built in the 80s,
the
very
80s.
much more like, and it was built as a repository, like as an archive.
They have, like, if you look on the first page of your book, it will tell you, like, when the book was published and when it was submitted to the Library of Congress. And the Library of Congress houses
All of those.
legit one of everything ever published. And it keeps it in the Madison building.
Right. So there's no like windows in that building, but I think the leadership of the Library of Congress stuff, I think that's where their offices are. Not sure. Cannot confirm, but think that's it. But the archives themselves, it wasn't built for people to go in and see. So it is not made to be like super showy or like that there are a bunch of windows or anything. But I will tell you, the front of that building is all like, it's gorgeous. And the front of that building is all, or the art on it looks like
It's like the
iron books.
I was gonna
almost.
say it's like iron book
Yes.
thing over the front door.
Exactly.
Yes.
So and we went at the holiday time, so it was beautifully decorated. Just standing in front of it was like I didn't know, and I didn't look it
I
up.
had no idea.
I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Had
look
no
it up.
idea what we were walking into.
No, not at all.
I mean, and you've seen pictures, like, and you've seen it in movies, and like you're like, okay, great, but like to see it in person,
I would go back again.
It was so epic, and I'm sure you would see a million new things that you didn't get to see because there was so much just.
Yeah,
there.
they've got the names of all the scholars up there, and we're talking like just in like the general entrance area where like you can walk in and walk around. There were a ton of people there.
Yes.
They had a Gutenberg Bible.
Yes, it's one of 3
There you go.
in the world. 3, not original. 3 fully restored on vellum. There's one at the Library of Congress. There's one in Paris, and there's one in London.
I believe you because I don't know, but I had no idea that it was even there. I just happened to like
Yes.
walk by and I was like, oh, that's a thing.
Wait a
Right? I was like,
second.
this looks important. But
That's
you could
a
like walk up
Gutenberg
and look at it.
Bible.
It's clearly like encased in like protective boxing.
So we
Whatever.
can't trust people.
No, but
You
it
never
was-
know where Nicolas Cage might be lurking.
Exactly. So, but then you get in and you see like there's a giant arch that has like literally Library of Congress written on it. The ceilings are detailed and gorgeous and just
There's quotes
everywhere. That's my
all
favorite
over
part.
them. Yes.
So under every window, there's like a window or like a picture of a scholar of some sort, right? And then there is literally a quote under every single one, and it goes all the way around the square, like the whole square of the building, and from the inside. And you could just like, I think I have so much footage of just those dang quotes because I thought they were so cool.
They were everywhere. They were also in the main reading room.
Yes. So then you get to the main reading room, right? So we talked a little bit about it, but you have to get your library card first to be able to be allowed into the reading room. You cannot bring a purse in there, a giant jacket,
bags,
nothing, right?
jackets.
You could bring, there were people in there working on their computers and like with, they were writing things and they were reading things. So people were clearly in there to work, which was very cool. It is the quietest library you've ever been in your entire life.
So
like,
quiet.
Breathing felt too loud.
Yes. I was just about to say, yeah,
Right?
do
I was
not
like,
breathe out loud.
right? But, and then they've even got a collection of all of the hearings from the Congress, right? It's
That
sort of
was
like,
so cool.
it's Senate hearings here, blah, blah, blah. Like, it has the dates, and then it's got, game and fisheries. Like, it's got all of these things in there that are
And
just
all
sitting
of
there.
the topics, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then there are a bunch of different, like, this one is all research, right? So you're not going in there and finding fiction. You're not going in there and finding,
Yes.
self-help
No.
books. It's literally, I think I picked up one and it was like Aristotle's first complete works. Like, that's one of the books that I picked up and I was like, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
This exists?
Yep.
But that was the way. So that was the main reading room, and that was more of the research stuff. But they have different rooms throughout the library that I don't want to say serves, but like the theme is different things. So if you're looking for law books, law research, you would go to the law library. Mm-hmm. And then you could call up those books and they would be served to you there. So like you can't cross theme.
We're not
like,
cross-pollinating books.
Right. So it's like, it's so crazy. So I don't know. I've never seen that in real life to where they would like, you decide the book that you want.
Yep.
And then order it. And then
And I can't
they
imagine
bring
it
it to
will
you.
come like right away, but it's
No.
quickly like, and there are
It's
times
for
where
your
like,
next
hey, if
visit.
for the next visit you go in, but you can like set up an account and
Yes.
they will help you. And like the woman who was giving us our library cards was delightful.
Fabulous.
She was wonderful.
She
And
was so sweet.
we asked her and we said like, hey, I said, how do you decide what books go in the reading room? She goes, well, it's all research based. She goes, everything is a research-based book, and because of that, it's something that you're only going to get there, and if there's something we don't have right on site, you will talk to your librarian and then figure out what it is that you want, and then move on from there.
And they will find it and have it for your next visit. So you can legit get just about anything, but, whatever you're looking for, you can get it on your next visit. It'll be ready for you at your designated time and place. And if you're on the West Coast, California, Washington, they have a lending library. I haven't looked into this. This is going to be amazing because I am on the West Coast. So I could get books from the Library of Congress delivered to me on the West Coast.
So you can do whatever research you're looking for.
And then they could come back. Like,
yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'm so, like, just the extent of... Like, it's not just a pretty building.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a pretty museum building that you can go in and like, oh, okay, that's nice. Like, this is great. It's an actual functional library.
Yeah, when I'm telling you, when we were sitting in there, and I remember just sitting down at one of the seats, and I like, at that moment, I was like, I think this is where I might cry. Like, I might cry here. It's possible.
I got teary on the hall walk.
Fair.
As we walked back, because... I think it was at that point I realized it was more than just a museum type thing, because there weren't people watching you and like, don't touch the walls or like whatever, but like, hey, if you're looking for your library card, go down this hall, then you turn around and you go down this hall. And it was like, this is functional.
Yeah, you didn't need an escort.
This is real. Like, they just let people back here.
Yeah.
Like,
they just, because they figure if you're going to come in because you want to research something, or because you're a reader, or because whatever, then you should have access to these things.
And I mean, the internet is amazing, and you could probably find whatever you needed on the internet.
But if I want to source, like if I want to cite it.
But like, how amazing just being in the library and seeing it.
I never had to do a dissertation in college, right? I didn't have it. My college experience was for elementary education, and so we didn't need to write like a giant thesis statement or paper of some sort, right? But I can imagine, had I been in the sciences or law or humanities of some sort that needed some of that, how cool would it be to be like, hey, cool, on my break, I'm going to run up to the Library of Congress and do some research and bring it back, right? I'm going to write it down and bring it back. And there's places you can make copies of things, like,
yeah.
So you can utilize that information
later.
Later.
It's not even copies. Like, you put your USB in and you scan it to like a PDF on your USB drive. So you don't ever have to bring pen and paper into this. Like, it legit goes direct to, it's a standalone kiosk that you can... I'm like, I don't know how the people who work there get any work done.
Right? I would just play in there all day long.
I'm like,
I'll be over here. Reverend play, of course. Like,
I'll be over here quietly.
Reading everything in this library.
Like, how cool. How cool. It was very epic.
It was great. And everybody was really respectful when they were in there, right? If anybody was in there, they were super quiet, and they were, there were people who just walked in, walked out. We walked in, we walked around for a long time.
We did. We were
We
there for a while.
explored, and I am not upset about it, but they also don't limit the number of people, it seemed, that could be in there. There wasn't somebody sitting there counting, like, with a clicker, like, oh, only this many people can go in.
Well, we were supposed to have timed entry.
For the...
Yes.
No, I meant for the reading room.
Oh.
The
yeah,
reading
no,
room,
no.
for the reading room, they were fine.
I was
Yes,
like,
we were
oh.
supposed...
Yes.
For the Library of Congress itself, to get into the giant building, yes, timed entry, very much museum-like, that sort of thing. But of course, it's because you're looking at all of this stuff that's huge and, like,
Yes.
that's ornate, and you need time to look at it.
People are taking pictures everywhere.
Everywhere. You will have seen that throughout
And
the duration of this.
you will also be taking pictures everywhere. So it's not like, it's not annoying at all because you're just like so enthralled. It's incredible.
Yes. And I honestly would, like I said, I would go back at any point. And I love a good library, but I also have never had an experience in a library like I did in this one.
Yes. Yes.
And since we went the holiday time, we got to see the Christmas tree.
We saw the Christmas tree.
There was a gorgeous Christmas tree, which I think is really cool because they, if I'm not mistaken, you told me that each of the books, they have small books down below.
Yes.
And we'll throw them up here as well. There are small books down below where the pages are folded.
The pages are folded into the names of all the librarians
that they have had. The head librarians,
and
right?
there are, so the Librarian of Congress, the head Librarian of Congress. There's only been 14.
New goal unlocked, which I will never get to, but how cool would it be to be the Librarian of Congress?
How cool.
In charge of all of the country's books. I cannot, right? That will be a literal pipe dream, but it's one that, like...
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not even on a bucket list. It's whatever's higher than a bucket list.
It's above a bucket list.
It's above a bucket list.
But...
It's a cloud list.
It's a head in the cloud list.
It's a head in the cloud list.
But I was very torn when I saw the books because we know how we feel about...
Yes.
I don't want to say book desecration, but...
Right, but changing those books are not to be written again, right?
No.
But here's the other thing. Do we know what books they were that were folded?
No.
Because what if it had been like the favorite book of each librarian? Wouldn't that have been cool?
That would have been very cool. No, you couldn't see. It was just
No.
the pages kind of splayed open,
Yes.
and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. But they
Right.
were open, and each page was folded in such a way that when it sat open, it displayed their name.
Yes.
How cool.
And I think we're also including a little image that has all of their names listed, and I think there's a QR code where you can learn more about them.
Yes.
So if you pause it and like zoom
it
in on
out.
that QR code, you can actually take a look at that too, because I think it's very cool to see. And the fact that I think you had told me that all of the librarians of Congress have always been librarians. Like
Yeah.
they came up through the librarian ranks,
Yes.
whatever those might be.
They are not like
No, but
government politicians,
Right.
anything like that. They have library background.
They're library people. They're book people.
Speaking of, did you know how the Library of Congress got started? I read this.
I feel like I know who started it, but go ahead.
Thomas Jefferson.
There you go.
So I think there was a fire. Like I'm sorry for anyone
Go
that
for it.
this is not correct, but I believe there was a fire and it ruined the collection, and Thomas Jefferson, so his books are actually on display.
Yes, and I want to say that you're right, because I want to say
that was
when at some point it was
Some
burned, and because of that they lost so much information. They could only save certain things. Thomas Jefferson donated.
It was his library.
Yeah, his
all
library
his
to
books.
things.
And you can see them. They are off. They are also encased so that people don't touch them.
Fair.
But they are the original that he gave and restarted the collection.
And as a person who is obsessed with that portion of history, right, I will read anything that has to do with that. It was so surreal to be in a space that
Yeah.
other people were there, right? And people well before you had been part of and had worked on and had done all of those things. So it was amazing to be part of that, even in some teeny tiny small just walk through.
And I don't
portion.
history well. Like, I don't know my history.
I
do
love,
not.
and I don't do it well either, but I love it.
But I was like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a little bit, enough to know, like, holy crap.
Like, this is important.
This is, where I am
Something
and
is
where I'm
happening here.
standing. And, like, the people that have come before me in this exact space. And also to appreciate books. Mm-hmm. It was definitely a book-themed holiday.
Even from the point of walking up the marble stairs and feeling the dip in the stairs because it's marble, right? And so it wears over time.
Yes.
And as people step on it, the same, interestingly enough, I've had this conversation because at my college, one of the steps that they saved from a fire is very worn down because of all the people who have traveled over top of it over the years, right? And the same thing is happening at the steps inside of the Library of Congress because so many people have traversed its halls. And it's just so cool. Again, I would go again. And again, and again, and again. And I wouldn't care.
You would see different things every time. Like there were, like I said, like it would be so cool to visit the other reading rooms.
Yes.
And just to see, I don't know, I feel like I could just go and like hang out and do some research one afternoon and just go like to experience the ambiance.
Part of me almost doesn't even want to do research. I just want to take my own book in and just sit there and read. Right? Right? No food, no drink. So you're not cozy with a cup of coffee, but you're definitely you're in it.
That could be.
Oh, but I also will say the chairs are not comfortable. They're not there for you to be cozy.
You're
and
probably not going to be cozy.
No, but you're definitely going to get things done. And they each have the seal on them. Like every chair has like the seal like carved into the wooden chair. And then there's also the gorgeous clock. Mm-hmm. And very non-denominational, right? Because we know how things were started and how things, move about when it comes to religion. And this was very non-denominational. This was very scholarly. This was very, I expected to see a little bit more of a Christian influence. No. Just because of the way that our country was founded, right? No. And there definitely was not here. It was more, like I said, more
for everybody.
More Greek and more Roman than anything.
Yeah, it is for everybody. It does not cater to one religion or another.
No.
Which is why the Christmas tree
is a big deal.
Is non-denominational. Yep. It is for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Christmas tree itself has an ornament for every state, and they're all books. Mm-hmm. They all look like books.
Yes.
So
yes,
it was very cool.
It was very cool.
It was very cool. And the decoration on the tree itself changes every year, from what I understand. So I may have to go back again and see what the next one is.
The books do stay.
Yes.
The books are the library.
Right.
So the books are always incorporated. So you can always go and see them. But the theme changes all the time. So you can't just be like, oh, I've already seen it.
And if you're like a Disney fan who does hidden Mickeys, just go and do the hidden Liberty Caps.
For all the Liberty Caps.
Because they're everywhere. On every single one of the books.
And that too.
Right? They were on every single one of the books that had the names on them. They had all the Liberty Caps on them, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Love it or hate it.
Definitely love it. Check, love it.
Yes. It was definitely worth seeing.
Oh, 100%. And again, my library card is like...
It's good for 2 years, so...
It's staying in my purse forever.
And that is, like, that's a secret hint. So you don't have to have a library card to go and see the main reading room. But you would have to sign up for a timed tour because they will only take so many people in at a certain time because it is an active research
space
area. So, they don't want huge crowds in there, people making a lot of noise because people are using this functionally.
Right.
So you have to sign up for timed tours and that. But if you get your library card, which is free.
Right, it's free. You go whenever.
Then you can go in and look around.
Right. And nobody stopped us when we were in there. Nobody was like, hey, what are you doing here? It was just they knew we were coming in, that we had access to it because we had our library card. And also, the photo on my library card is much better than the photo on my driver's license. It's in color. Right? It's so much better.
It is.
And that's not saying much because my driver's license card is not great.
They're not. But they don't care about your license.
But the fact that it has a photo of me on it. It's got my name. It's got the date.
It's personalized.
What a keepsake. What a keepsake.
Definitely get your reading card.
Right. And like I said, it says Library of Congress -reader.
Verified.
Right. What better
for
way?
2 years.
What better way to be like, hey, I'm a legit reader.
Free keepsake. Right. Who doesn't love that?
And it didn't take long.
If you need to research, holy crap, like the information that you would have.
Part of me is like, find me something to look up.
I know.
Like I just want a project at this point. Like what is my big cause that I now need to figure out how to work the world with, and then I can go there and do some research. I don't know what it is, but it's what I want to do.
I don't know, but it's happening.
We literally just went, and
it was inspiring
in the brain, and I'm like, I'm ready.
Like, because you can see the pictures. You can look at those online, and it's beautiful. Yep. It's fine. You're looking at it, and you're like, oh, okay,
that's really
cool.
Pretty.
That's pretty. That's a piece of history. Great. But I'm telling you, when you're there and you're surrounded by all of it, it's it was an experience. It was a total experience because you can smell the books. You can smell the old books.
We walked through and I was like, it smells like books. Like I literally looked at her and I was like,
Yes.
it smells like books. Like it's a
Yes.
legit library. It smells like books.
It smells like books.
It smells like good, well taken care of books.
And it's like incredible to look at visually. It's stunning. There's stuff everywhere to look at. Like you can smell the books. You can it's all five senses.
And the people are really kind, right? I think most of
There are volunteers all over the
everywhere.
place. Yes, and they will help you wherever you need. Whatever questions you have,
They
they
direct you
will
wherever.
direct you where you need to go. It was
I
fantastic.
really wish we had the name of the woman who gave us our library cards because she, like I said, she was lovely. And like, and I know Mom had asked and been like, hey, do you say the same thing to everybody? And she was like, no. And I will tell you she didn't because we each
She didn't.
learned something
Because
different.
we all had different experiences.
And there were 6 of us.
And they took the time to have conversation with you.
Yeah, while
it
you're
was not
doing it.
procedural. They
No.
were not like, okay, here's your card. Okay, go. Like,
And we pre-registered. So she could have just been like, okay, stamp, go. Like,
Yes.
check your ID and here we are. And she was like, she looked at me and she's like, do you have any questions? And I went, no. Yes. Like,
yes, we do.
I was like, I do have questions.
We may all ask the same question because you go in one at a time.
Right. And so we warned her. But I
Yeah.
don't think we did. I think we all asked different
We
questions.
all had different
'Cause we
questions.
all
And we
had-
all had different conversations.
Yes.
And it was fantastic because then we came out and we all collaborated on what we had talked about.
Right.
And we all got all the information. It was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Highly recommend.
Right. I wish I had gotten her picture. But I feel like that was not the right picture taking place. Like, I didn't take a phone out to do that. Like,
She probably, yeah. I don't know. But they just, everyone was so helpful. Took their job, like, very seriously, making sure you knew where to go. You had a little bit of information. It wasn't just a straight, like, here's the answer to your question. It was, here's a little bit of history. Here's, like, a little bit more that maybe you didn't know that you wanted to ask.
right. I feel like,
was very
so
cool.
we went into this with 2-hour parking, being like, that is more than enough time. That was not enough time.
I'm pretty sure we exceeded our 2-hour
We
parking.
well exceeded our 2-hour parking because
we
we got
were
in
like-
there and we were like, oh, is the car still there? It was. Is the car still there?
We
Because we
came
came
out.
out and we were
Yes.
like, oh my gosh.
It's
We didn't
been, what was it? Like, was it
God,
3
at least-
hours? Three
at
and a
least-
half?
Because it was, God, 3 something by the time we got out.
Yeah.
And we got there at 12:45.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So it was
you
a couple
definitely,
hours.
and we could have used more time.
Oh, 100%.
We definitely could have used more
100%.
time.
And I do recommend if you're going to go, get on the website, look for a timed entry so you can figure out, because there is a line.
There is
People
a
have to
line.
wait in a line.
Yeah.
And then we went the day after
The day after
Christmas,
Christmas.
which you're like, oh, who's going to the Library of Congress the day after Christmas? Everyone.
Everyone
Everyone
there.
is going the day after Christmas.
Although the workers, the government workers are not there, so parking is plentiful.
Right?
You
Parking's
won't
great.
have trouble finding parking,
No, but I will tell
but you
you
will
there,
stand in line.
there is, yes. So your girl who definitely did not bring her jacket with her because she left it in the car, she's like, we're just going to walk in. It's fine.
We're just
yeah, I was fine. It ended up being okay.
It ended
But
up-
it
yes.
definitely get a timed entry if you have an opportunity. If you're
Plan
planning to go.
a little bit.
Right?
Take
Same
our word
thing.
for it.
We drove by the Air and Space Museum.
Space Museum,
That one.
yes.
Apparently, you also need a ticket to get into because that line was super long. So I'm kind of
That
glad
one
we
was
didn't.
much longer even.
Yeah, I'm
But yeah,
kind of glad we didn't go to that one, but I would have loved to. Another day, maybe during.
I've been to that one.
I've been there too, but I want to go again.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been a very long while, and I live here. Like,
Yeah.
I should go more often.
It's like you need a day for
Yeah.
each thing.
Yeah, just so you can kind of like absorb
That way you're
the
not
things.
rushed. Yeah.
Absorb the things. Know what you're doing.
Get your timed entry. Get your
Library card.
pre-authorized for your library card.
Yep, which is we did it literally while we were standing in there because
It was
we
a quick
walked by a
form.
desk and it was like pre-register for your library card, and I was like,
And
scan.
we were like, we can get library cards here? Yes.
yes, you can.
please.
And I was like, I definitely want a library card. I was like, I will pay for my library card. Which honestly, if it were me, I would charge for a library card there. I get it. I know why they don't.
Information is free.
I know that it is.
Information should be available to all.
I know that it is, but I also think that like that's something I would pay for.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah, 100%. I
Definitely
get it.
worth
I understand why. I don't need to debate it. I just
Yes.
there are certain things in the world that I'm willing to pay for, and a library card at the Library of Congress is one of them.
It's incredible.
Right.
It's something you never knew you could have or that you wanted or needed.
But you want it and you need it.
And you can have it.
You can have it all.
You can totally have it.
Yes.
Yeah. Just
So.
incredible. But
Yeah.
yeah, you will see all our photos and videos and
Yes. So thank you for joining us on our first field trip, and I kind of feel like we need to do another one somewhere.
we definitely
I just
need
don't know
more.
where that is. Don't know where that is.
It'll come to us.
Right? But
It'll be
the Library of
fantastic.
Congress is going to be really hard to top.
That was, yeah, incredible. Incredible. Have you been? Are you going? Does this make you want to go now? Wait till you see these pictures. Like,
Right,
if you
just-
haven't been,
Paying attention.
yes,
It's
they're
like, here.
here.
Yes.
So excited. Let us know.
Yes. And we'll see you on our next episode, which will not be a field trip, but will be just as exciting.
Back to usual.
Bye.
Bye.
It was great to have you join us for today's chat. If you'd like to continue the conversation, provide a recommendation, or simply say hi, pop over to Instagram at wine.read.wine. Also, if you're the review type person, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave us an honest review on your favorite podcast player. Or leave us a comment on our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next episode. Happy reading!